Morning. Rather than think out of what I'm going to do and a plan as usual, I'll just start painting and see where we go. I'm thinking a woodland scene with rocks and stream, the usual. But I'd like to do a lakeland scene, but I've done so many lately. Also, I've been enjoying some knife painting with using my oils. And I've got an idea that I want to put a fisherman's cottage, one of those white Brittany cottages, in that I've done in acrylic. I might have even done a knife painting of it, but I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it on a piece of watercolour paper that I bought. It's quite cheap stuff. It's not really good for watercolour, but I'm going to paint straight on it without any primer, but using my knives. But this watercolour is for those that might be feeling a bit deprived because I've been doing too many acrylics. But anyway, I'll wet the paper all over. No reference material, just straight in. Right, and we'll put a background of the usual raw sienna. Just gives it a unifying look and a bit of warm. Let's put all sorts of colours in there. Let's have a bit of burnt sienna, a bit of dirty burnt sienna. And a bit of alizarin on there. Right, now some Payne's grey and a bit of ultramarine. A bit of alizarin. Keep a bit of light in the middle again. Not too much. Look, I'm just mixing a bit of blue, bit of grey, bit of red, bit of alizarin. But I'm just putting it where the water's going to go. Right, okay, that'll do, no more than that. Clean the brush. This is largely just background, but I don't want to go too high up with the trees on this one. I'm just going to dry this off. So, mute your sound, folks. I do get asked why don't I use a tissue or do I use a tissue? But Stephen Cronin uses a tissue to great effect, but it's not for me. I used to do it a lot. It can become a crutch, a bit like the card, and I certainly overuse the card. But that's about. And I do lift out. I lift out the little yachts and things to go back to the clean paper and use the tissue. But generally, no, that's not for me. But that isn't to say don't you use it, whatever gives you the effect. Stephen, as I say, uses it to great effect. But I prefer to leave my skies like this, as they're random, they're imaginative, I think, they're easy to do, and they're easy to overdo. Sorry, I just dropped my hake, a bit of cream in again. Right, okay, so let's put in some background. So let's have a bit of blue, a bit of grey. And a bit of sienna. Love sienna. A bit of alizarin. grey, and a bit of green, so a bit of yellow. I've had a bit of a spend up on some block of paper. This is Fabriano, by the way. Got nice and dark green in here. I've got some cadmium yellow which I'm going to use when I've used the lemon yellow up. I'll put some, I'm going to overdo this because that could go very muddy. Right, let's go a bit higher. No, let's keep that one. There, let's get some nice rich dark now. Look, that's paint almost softened out, almost out of the tube. It's probably a bit wet, that's going to go probably a bit too muddy. Bit of distance with that blue. I'm going to put some rocks in now. Lots of colours. I'm going to scrape these rocks. It's a nice red. Just letting the paint, the brush go a bit mad. But once the paint dries a bit, you can't lift it out. So I put a bit of red in, so it will show. Right, let's just put some rocks in there. Don't know how this is going to turn out. Right, now let's get a card. Cards, let's have a bigger card. Let's use this one here, my old RAC card. If you scrape fairly lightly, you get a texture. Get some of that off there. And I'm talking about the tissue on a comment on one of the paintings this morning. I said I don't use the tissue very much, but I certainly overuse the card. But it's good fun. Well, by the time I put some darker trunks in there. Now that's interesting. Okay, then we can put some darker back in there as we go. I'm going to give that a bit of a dry. Can't spend too much time with this. I've got a funeral to go to. Let's just finish that up there. Let's go a little bit. No, I tried too much. I can put a bit of black around there. I'm going to put the background colours in the water, but I just want to do a bit of rigger work, I think, in those trees. Or shall I? Or shall I use? I'll use the hake. So, a bit of Payne's grey, a bit of sienna. Funny, when you get to a certain age, you go to more funerals than you do to weddings. The guy whose funeral we're going to, no, I'll use the river, was our librarian, our local library. He was there for 50 years, all his working life. And he used to run, or lead historical walks around London. Great walker. Right, a bit over there, not a lot. A bit of blue. I don't suppose this will show, but it's quite light. But just to give a bit of detail in the background. Right, I'll go over this with a bit of leafage. Right, I want just a little bit of shadow, or shadow reflection here and there. Right, okay, that'll do. I'll dry that off, and I want to put a bit of leafage down the bottom here. Headphones off. Right, Now I'm going to, on top of one of those rocks, I'm going to put a bit of, too dry, oh wet. Just a bit of growth on here. That's shadow there. Alright, now we're putting some scrubby stuff here. Use a rigger for that, I think. Let's improve that. I wanted to show that rock as like holding, or as a base for some trees. But whether that still works or not, I don't know. Right, let's just balance that up with a bit of greenery, a bit of dark greenery. You need a cloth to soak up your excess moisture or water in your brush. Okay, I'm going to leave that before I ruin it. I like to put the odd bird in the sky, just links the two. Okay, I've got a signature if it's worth it. Okay, let's bring them out and have a look. And prepare for the funeral. Oh, there we are. Not one for posterity, but I hope you enjoyed it. Remember the warm colours, like the I'm just going to run this up a bit, so I'm looking more down because it's an boards at an angle. Blues give distance, warmer browns, siennas, reds, although there's not a lot showing, come forward. It gives this aerial, what we call aerial perspective. We know things get smaller and less distinct as they go into the distance, but if you paint them blue, you extend that distance. You give that illusion of depth. Right, okay, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.